Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's going to be a couple of old high-tech Ace AWPs for this video from the £6 jackpot era. Specifically the fella that we've got on the left here, which is called the Jurassic Trail. And on the right hand side we have got Money Mountain. They're not quite clones of each other, but they are very similar. And they were released pretty much at the same time. And if I had to have a guess, I'd say probably 1993. Now, before I get into the machines themselves, we're just going to have a little chat about Mr. Pook. So here we are. As you may be aware, Pook has been working through his back catalogue. He's been redoing them for the newer versions of the emulator. We're currently at 6.1 and he has been working through his back catalogue and he's done a lot of re-releases. He's got a whole re-release sub-forum on his de-excellent area of Desert Island Fruits. And as he's gone through these over the months, I begin to think to myself, blooming heck, he's not going to do the whole lot, is he? But he has. He's actually worked through basically every single layout he's ever done has now been re-released for the newest version of the emulator. That means that they're all up to date and they're all fully compatible with the new version of the emulator. He's put together a little video of his own there, and as you can see, he's having to go through them at quite a rate of knots to get them all into a 5-minute video here. Now, he does note that there are some that aren't in here, which he's called well, he split them up into 3 categories. So the ones that he hasn't done a re-release for at this moment in time are what he describes as the not quite. A number of machines that I like but were not of a quality I was happy to re-release. He's noting there that some of them have had a kind of reworking done, or a release done rather, by other designers, so he doesn't need to do an update of his own. And there are some there that he lists Loads of Money, Luxor, Let the Good Times Roll, and What's On, that he's intending to actually do a full sort of remaster of, sort of create the layout from scratch again, rather than just update what's already out there. The JPEMU years, where he's saying there that the style of cabinet that he used then, these vertical coloured cabs, which he doesn't use anymore, so he is saying that he may recreate some of those from scratch again. And the third category there is the rest, which is, he's saying, probably my first couple of years of DXs are best left to the dark recesses of my hard drive and never spoken of again. But it is an impressive list and quite an undertaking that he has gone through there. And I haven't given that post a like. There we are. So, really impressive piece of work from Pook. And thank you very much to him for the effort that he's put into this. And also to Reg, of course, because Reg has given De-Excellent a new home at Desert Island Fruits. Pook's got his own whole section there for De-Excellent to continue to live on. So thank you to the both of them for making all of these re-releases possible. Now, in all fairness, many of them haven't actually changed that much, and he does note himself that on a lot of the re-release threads that the actual changes that have been made are fairly trivial in terms of how the layout looks, but the main thing is, more than anything, that you know it's going to work in the new version of the emulator. There are a few little curiosities. If you load the old DAT-based layouts into the new version of MFME, and you can only go as far forward as 5.1 because that's the last version of the emulator that supports the DAT format. 6 and 6.1 will not even load DAT-based layouts in. So you're kind of forced to split yourself across 2 versions of the emulator, because obviously you're going to use 6.1 for all the new stuff. So you're kind of having to keep 5.1 kicking around just to run the DAT-based stuff. And even when you do load the database stuff in, some layouts do exhibit some issues when you're running an old database layout in 5.1. So they do generally run, but I've seen graphical issues and alpha issues and other little quirks when loading those old database layouts into 5.1. In fact, I often use version 3.2 when I'm doing videos of older machines where the layout hasn't been updated. For example, in the last video, the Pink Panther DX was actually running in version 3.2 of the emulator. So as much as anything, and little tweaks and updates are very, very welcome, of course, but even more so than that, it's the fact that you just know all of these re-releases work fine in the latest version of the emulator. I will just let this play out here because you can see how much stuff Pook has done over the years. One of Fruit Machine emulation's most prolific designers, and that is a fantastic body of work there. There we are. We'll let's do Pook the courtesy of letting these play out here, and we will see the whole list. I think we've only got another 30 seconds to go, so let's just see it out here. So, cannot emphasise enough, thank you very much to Pook, and thank you to Reg for giving the excellent a new home over at Desert Island Fruits. Ooh, they're one of them bloody awful £500 B3s, that tornado thing. There'll be a video on them at some point, because that tornado thing that you just saw then, they're the buggers that turned up all over the place en masse here on the Isle of Man. So, let's get to the two machines in question here, which are Jurassic Trail and Money Mountain. The reason this has kind of popped into my head, by the way, you may have seen it just come past in that video there. Jurassic Trail is one of the ones that Pook has now re-released for the new version of the emulator. So when it got its shiny new version, I've had it in my head to do a video for these two machines for quite a while, and that's just given me the nudge to go ahead and do it. And just for reference there, I mean, they do look very similar to me. On the left-hand side, you've now got the re-released sort of remaster. That's on the left. On the right-hand side, and this is in fact running in version 3.2 of the emulator, this is the original DX of the Jurassic Trail that Pook released. And this was originally a 2008 release. This layout was originally released by Pook in 2008, so now 10 years later, we do now have the update of it for the new version of the emulator. I've got to say, they do look very similar to me, those two. If you swizzled them around and asked me to identify which was which. And, oh, well, you can see, actually, looking at it, he has changed the cab a bit there. We've got some different art on the cab. He's changed the perspective a little bit. Oh, actually, that does look better, doesn't it? We've got a little bit more of the true perspective on the cab, that kind of thing. So, yeah, he's obviously changed them, but they are very similar, and that is the original DX running in... Let's have a look. Version 3.2 of MFME, and that one hails from 2006, that version of the emulator. And that was, I think, the final public release. 2006 was the final public release of the emulator, and then it was all the way through to November 2016 when version 5 was released. So we went 10 years, 10 long years in the Fruit Machine emulation wilderness. And then Wizard, of course, did finally release version 5 of the emulator, which has ushered in this amazing new era of Fruit Machine emulation. Okay then. Fuck it, I'm doing well here with 10 minutes. I haven't even spun the reels yet. Well done, Degsy. Anyway, let's crack on. So then, these two machines, the Jurassic Trail and Money Mountain, I played these a lot, and I liked them. I thought these were good machines. I enjoy playing them, and they did okay. Ace's high-tech stuff kind of went off the boil a little bit in popularity terms. They're hidden treasures machines. You know, the Play It Again, Hi-de-Hi, Twilight Zone, Camelot, all that era of machines, 480 into the early £6 era, they were all over the place. The Ace must have done really, really well out of them. But as the £6 era went on, They seem to go off the boil a little bit in terms of their popularity. They were always around. They always had machines out and about, and an Ace machine in that very, very familiar cabinet, and of course with the dot matrix display. They were a reasonably common sight, but they didn't seem to be doing as well as Barcrest and Maygay and BFM and the other kind of really sort of noted high-tech manufacturers. But these were around. These were around in pubs and arcades, and I played both of them quite a lot. Money Mountain in particular here. They had in an arcade in Douglas. When I first came over to the Isle of Man, they had one of these in an arcade in Douglas. That would have been 1994 when I first came over here, and then moved over here in 96. They had it on site for quite a while. They had this Money Mountain on site for quite some time, but they did finally get rid of it, and this was well before the era of Fruit Machine emulation. This was before anybody even thought that Fruit Machine emulation might be a thing. If I'd have known then what I know now, I would of course have asked them for the resources, because talked about this before though on the Coronation Street video. This arcade, I got to know the people who ran the place, and the owner said that when they retired machines from active service, they just took them out into the backyard and smashed them to pieces with sledgehammers, because it wasn't worth their while sending them back to the UK. The legislation at the time on the Isle of Man prohibited the resale of fruit machines. You couldn't, it's not even like, you could take the coin mech out or anything like that. You could not resell fruit machines. So the only way that they could have resold them was to send them back to the UK. The guy explained to me it just wasn't worth their while financially. So when a machine was retired from that arcade, it got taken out the back and smashed to pieces. So it's dreadful to think that there was one of these. This Money Mountain, they did keep it for quite a few years, but one day I went in there and it had gone, so we know what fate it met. And that's a shame, because as you can see, we are missing resources for this. Chloe here did do a classic of this last year. Perfectly nice little classic. There's no artwork for a DX. We've got, as far as I'm aware, we've got no images, no flyers, no nothing. I can picture it in my head very clearly, but without some kind of Minority Report style brain scanning, that's not much use to us. So we have the classic. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't mind classic layouts. I'm happy to play classic layouts. For me, it's all about the machine, and it's knowing that the emulation is correct. However, the even bigger problem with Money Mountain is that we do not have the sound ROMs either. This is a mute machine, and that is a terrible shame, because both of these, Jurassic Trail and Money Mountain, have got a fantastic sound and music package. But Money Mountain was the better of the two, and I thought this at the time. Thought, you know what, I like both of these machines, but if I had to pick one, I'd pick Money Mountain, because it's got better music on it. And unfortunately, we only have the sound for Jurassic Trail. The sound ROMs are only available for Jurassic Trail. That's not too bad. I mean, it does have a good sample and music package on there, but Money Mountain for me was the better of the two. And I've got to be honest with you, I just don't get on with mute layouts at all. I just can't really play them, because the sound and music to me is such an integral part of the experience. So I've got to be honest with you, I haven't really put any money through Money Mountain, not because it's a classic, but because there's no sound. It's a mute layout, and that is a dreadful, dreadful shame. And I wish I would have had the foreshadowing of the fact that Fruit Machine emulation would one day be a thing, and would have asked at that arcade, say, you know what, when you retire that machine, could I have the glasses and the ROMs out of it, please? And they did that for me with Coronation Street when that machine got retired. They were perfectly happy. They were very nice about it, and they did give me the glasses and the ROMs out of it, which were then used by Altered Emu to make the DX, which we still have to this day. So great shame there, and for that reason, Money Mountain is not really going to feature in this video, because I can't particularly be doing, I'm afraid, with mute layouts. So I will focus on Jurassic Trail, but they're kind of interchangeable in a lot of ways. They were around at the same time, and I remember playing both of them. So I'm going to talk mainly about the Jurassic Trail. Very, very clearly remember playing this one in the pubs of Manchester. And they also had it at a pub that I worked at on the Isle of Man when I first came over here. And here it is. This is the Groudle Glen pub and restaurant. As you can see from the windows there, it's all sort of newspapered up. It has been closed for, well over 10 years now. The Groudle Glen Hotel, you can see the sign on it there. But that was, for many, many years, long before I moved here, this was a sort of fairly well-noted pub and restaurant on the island. I got a job there working as I say a barman. We kind of did a bit of everything, really, depending on what needed to be done. But I worked as a barman, sort of commie, chef, kitchen assistant, waiter, whatever it was needed doing. I worked in there for a few months in 1996 when I first came to the Isle of Man, and I was just taking basically any job that I could. Now, in there, it was a pub and restaurant, but they always had 2 fruit machines, and they were just sort of inside the door against a wall inside there. They had a number of fruit machines. They had the Popeye sequel. Is it Popeye Goes to Treasure Island or what it was? The JPM one. I remember them having a JPM big wheel in there, and they also had a Jurassic Trail. Now, they had a Jurassic Trail in there, and I played it an awful lot. Now, to start with, there was a bit of there was no rules about whether or not the staff could or could not play the fruit machines. And the thing is, it was often quite quiet in here because the place was open 7 days a week. But on a sort of Monday evening or a Tuesday evening, particularly if the weather was fucking horrible, you could be very, very quiet of an evening. And the thing is, if you have a look at where this actually is, so if we come out of, you can see where it is. That's where it is. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Well, I say the middle of nowhere. That's the closest urban conurbation there. But you can see from where it is, it's basically you're driving there. That's what you're going to have to do. There are some holiday cottages down here, but basically you've got to drive to get there. There's sort of Douglas and Onken there, and some people did walk out there. You can walk. It's a nice walk out along the coast there to get to it. But certainly on a Monday night, if it was pissing it down, you were going to be very, very quiet. And of course, drink driving is not a thing anymore. Apparently, back in the day, when the attitudes to drink driving were quite different, you would have cars parked all along King Edward Road here. People would be in there having a piss up, and at the end of the night, they just get in their cars and drive home. And sometimes, I guess the store I was doing, sometimes some of the local police would pop in as well, join everyone for a few beers, and then when they'd all done, they'd all just get in the cars and fuck off. Obviously, that's not going to fly in the 1990s, so the place did hurt a little bit in that regard. So sort of weekday nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday nights, particularly if the weather was very bad, it would be very quiet in there. The point there is that if you've just got nobody in the place, or just a couple of tables or whatever, it was fairly easy to come out from the bar or from whatever you were doing and play the fruit machines. The guy who sort of ran the place, he played them as well. He played them after hours when the place had shut, when we closed completely and everyone had gone home. He played them after hours. And for a while, it was known that I was playing them and a couple of the other staff were playing them, and it was tolerated. I would say it's probably the best thing I can say about it. It was neither approved nor disapproved of, and it went on, and I lost quite a bit of money then. That was the problem. Now, the guy, so I was paid in cash weekly. And can you imagine working? I mean, I wasn't earning much. It was only £3, about £3.80 an hour or something. Wasn't earning very much, and I'm getting paid in cash. And I'm working in an establishment that's got 2 fruit machines that I'm kind of free to play if there's nothing else going on, you can pretty much imagine the rest. An awful lot of my wages went into those fruit machines. And the other thing is, the guy who ran the place, the owner, he didn't mind me writing IOUs, putting them in the till and taking cash out the till. Now, I cannot stress enough, never pinched a penny or anything like that. There was no fucking theft going on or anything like that. I was scrupulously honest. If I ever took money out the till to put in the fruit machines, I put an IOU in, and then the chap would take them out at the end of the night, and then when it came to payday, he'd have the IOUs that I'd put in the till, said, here's your wage, less the IOUs, and it was like fucking half my wage some weeks. But I wasn't getting because he had the IOUs that I'd written and put in the tills. Oh, for fuck's sake, that's half me pay gone, I've lost it. Before I was even getting paid, that's the thing, I hadn't even been paid and I'd lost half a wage I hadn't even got in the fruit machines. I mean, for God's sake. Anyway, the problem was, it kind of got worse and worse. There was me and one other guy who worked in there who were really quite into the fruit machines. And it got to the point how we were doing like ninja runs from out behind the bar. So even when there were people in the place and, you know, we shouldn't really have been going on the fruit machines, we'd just dash out and have a cheeky quid or two or whatever when we thought we could get away with it. And the guy who ran the place, Les, he'd already kind of fired a shot across the bows, said, look, I don't want to see you on them fruit machines when there's people in the place or you've got stuff to do. You need to pack that in. You know, it's only when we're super quiet or what. That was the other thing. I did split shifts because they were open for lunch, then they closed for like 3 hours in the afternoon, and then opened again for the evening. So they did split shifts, which is a right pain in the arse. So what I sometimes do is actually just stay in the pub after we closed after kind of the lunch thing and carry on playing the fruit machines. And that he was fine with that, but he had said, don't want to see you playing the fruit machines when we've got customers in or there's something else that you could be doing. Anyway, we came unstuck one evening, so like I say, we were doing these ninja dashes. Whenever we could, we just like putting a pound in or whatever and just playing off a few credits, particularly if we'd seen a customer lose a few quid before they left, which I know is very naughty, you shouldn't do it, what can I say? I mean, was the fashion of the time, but one evening he'd gone out to run a couple of errands, just popped down the road to run a couple of errands, and I ran out from behind the bar when I thought I could get away with it, put a pound in. It was the Popeye sequel, whatever that sequel to Popeye is called. I think Popeye on Treasure Island, can't remember. And then we saw Les coming back in, and I was like, oh fuck, so I ran back behind the bar, but I still had credits in it. I had like 3 credits in, and the machine sat there with the start button flashing. So he walks in through the front door here, has a look at the fruit machine. He's probably seen me through the window scarpering, looks at the fruit machine and says, are they your credits? And I'm like, yeah, okay, just play them off and get back behind the bar, okay. And then, so that kind of scared us off then, but when we got paid that week, there was a little printed slip in everyone's pay packs. Along with their pay slip, there was a little printed slip which basically said, all staff of the Groudle are prohibited from playing the fruit machines at all times. And that was that. That was the end of playing the fruit machines in there, which frankly was probably no bad thing. It saved me a fortune because once you're just banned from doing something, it's like, you know, this will be considered like a disciplinary style offence if you know that you're potentially going to lose your job over it. That was the end of that, and we did not play the fruit machines anymore. And I wasn't particularly sorry to lose the ability to play the fruit machines in there, because it meant that I actually got my wage at the end of the week instead of half my wage in a pile of fucking IOUs for £5 and £10. So this machine did a stint in there, the Jurassic Trail. That was on site in there for quite a bit, and it had a little bit of volume to it as well. I'm a big fan of sound and music on fruit machines, and this did have some volume to it. And this is a great high-tech. Both of these are really good high-tech machines. This start to finish trail suits the £6 jackpot perfectly, and these are good games. They did have proper streaks on them as well, and I did catch this thing, and this is absolutely true. One evening I got a streak on it, and then later on, after hours, I think it had gone on quite late. It was one of the busier times because it was seasonal as well, like over TT. It was absolutely bonkers in there. But I'd managed to get a streak on it early in the day, I think it was after my shift finished, for the lunchtime shift, got a streak on it, and then came back for the evening shift. It got played a little bit during the evening, but not that much. And then after hours, I really got into it. I put all of the streak back into it from earlier on that day, went to the till, wrote myself out an IOU for a fiver or a tenner, thinking to myself, oh, what you doing here? You know it's streaked earlier in the day. It hasn't taken that much money. What are you expecting to happen here? And I swear to God, it streaked again. It can't have taken more than 30, 40 quid. Well, off the customers. Then it had taken my streak back off me. So it had maybe had, between streaks, I'm saying no more than maybe 60 or 70 pounds. And it streaked again. It actually streaked for a second time on the same day. I couldn't believe it. Got the bank up to, 30 odd quid. Collected it out. I was like, oh my God, you have been saved there, fella. Because I'd kind of got all of my streak back, for near enough all of my money back. I could pay my IOU off. So I could put my IOU amount, £5 or £10, whatever it was, back into the till, and I still had a load of 25 quid or whatever it was, 30 quid left on me as well. So it streaked twice in a day, which I couldn't believe. And that just gives you an indication, by the way, of just how bad I was back then. This is a machine that not only did I know it had streaked earlier in the day, it was me who had had the streak out of it. And then, having seen it have a modest amount of play as the evening went on, went into it again. That's how dumb I was when it came to playing fruit machines back then. I knew the entire history of that machine. It's not like I've been, it might have been played some more, because I had basically been with that machine the whole time the place had been open, and yet I still played it, having had a streak earlier on in the day. But for some reason, can't explain it, it streaked again. So, I know I've done an awful lot of waffle there. It's time to get into the machine itself. But the truth of the matter is that there's not going to be a huge amount to do here. Unlike last week, where we actually had like 3 different machines to get through, there's only one machine doing this week, and this thing should be happy. I set autoplay about it the other day, got about 200 quid through it on autoplay. Autoplay did not do a very good job in terms of like keeping it at percentage. It did get to the point where it was just throwing out, it was just dropping jackpots straight in on the reels to try and correct itself. So I'm hoping it's gonna be in a good mood and that we'll get some decent play out of it, because it is well behind percentage. So let's just good start, Degsy, good start. We'll try that one again, shall we? In fact, before we get into that, let's just talk briefly about the machine itself. Basically, you can get into the feature by getting 3 of your dinosaur fellas on the win line. Any win that you get, either dropping in or holding or after nudges, any win puts you straight onto the feature. You don't have to gamble first. So a mixed sevens win will start you there, a single bars win will start you there, and so on. Once you get to this spot here, you can see there that this little dinosaur fella will start chasing you. And if you find each other on the same square at the same time, he will bite your head off, as he did there. He can be ahead of you, and you can be behind him. So he has to be on the exact same square as you. So he can be there, and say you can be there. That's fine. It's only, but if you land on him, or he lands on you, it's game over. This square here, this kind of river here, is actually a square. If you land on that, it is instant game over, and your little chap falls down there and then drowns, I'm afraid. Get all the way to at the end, there's a £3 repeater. The £6 token jackpot is just before it. There's a skill nudge thing here, or skill bridge here rather, which if you land on that square, you can take that up to there. And the usual selection of sort of mysteries and cash amounts and features. I tended not to take the features, I've got to be honest with you. I was very much about trying to get to the £6 or the £3, but if we land on the features here, we will collect them. And what you can do at any point in time, you can choose to take the flight, and wherever you are on the board, that'll put you across to this panel here, and then you can pick a head or a tails gamble to go 1 up or 1 down. You get 3 lives, and once you've lost 3 lives, it will auto-collect whatever you're on unless you lose a gamble on a pound, in which case you go straight to lose. It's a fairly kind of standard start to finish trail setup. So what you're going to see here, obviously I could get the feature, and that's going to start me there, but I can take the double bars, and that's going to, the single bars rather, and that's going to put me straight to there. You can see it's my move. The dinosaur isn't active yet. Lucky dip now. The real shit one here is you get caught by a bird and you take the flight, which is exactly what it's done. So now that puts me straight over to wherever you are on the board. So obviously I'm between £2 and £3 there, so it's put me over to that. And I just went heads, tails, unless it lost, in which case I'm going to go heads again. Now I'm going to go tails. Now I'm going to... And you could gamble this... Oh, bollocks. So I'm going to go heads again there. Oh, come on. So obviously I could collect £3. That would be £3 cash. That would be an option, but it's not a £3 repeater. I always just used to go for broke on this. I really did. Fuck. So that's going to auto collect £2 now. I've lost all my lives. But it did like to gamble up. I mean, I've got it buzzed up in the emulator here, and obviously we're on a very generous percentage as well. However, on the real thing, you know, it was not unusual to start off with like a £1 or a £2 win and gamble it all the way up to £6. It did happen, and it happened reasonably regularly. And as you can see, it's not necessarily an all or nothing gamble. You will auto collect whatever you're on once your 3 lives have gone. The other thing is that this machine loved to hold after nudges, and it would hold after nudges for anything. Not just say the feature, you know, like on the Amigas I was saying in the last video, whereby you really want to be going for the feature symbols for the holds after nudges. This would hold after nudges for anything, up to and including the jackpot, but I remember it being particularly fond of holding after nudges for the blue 7s, and then you only need 1 gamble to get yourself up to £6. It also had lovely music. So what I'm going to do here is just go through the samples, and we'll just have a little loop or 2 of the samples. Not quite as good as Money Mountain. I thought Money Mountain was the better of the 2, and that's saying something because the Jurassic Trail has got a great sample package. It's just that Money Mountain was even better, and it's such a shame that we don't have the sound ROMs for it. Let's just wait till we get some nudges. Which, I mean, this machine should be bloody happy. There we are. Ah, it's a lovely, lovely sample, that. So we're going to go for our mixed 7s there. And that is going to start straight at £1. We'll have the board music. Fab stuff. I know, very, very evocative this for me. Let's carry on going around on this one, but we will collect a couple of features. So the Dino's going to be active now, and it does love to be a twat here and just put you straight into the water. So and it's the Dino's move, so he can catch me now. It's my move. A 1 will kill me. We've got over. Now it's the Dino. This should be letting me get right round to the top here. Oh dear. I do not want to get picked up by the bird. Another great little sample, this. Does sound very much like, I always thought this. It sounds like Amiga music to me. I'm just wondering if they've ripped these off like Amiga demos or something. In fact, and again, that's it fired another thing in the old weary old brain there. Let's just see if we can get a jackpot out of this. Oh yeah, Dino stopped to feed. That means that I get a go now. Oh god, I could actually land on him here, couldn't I? Oh, for fuck's sake. It doesn't cheat you that, but I'm sure it goes far too fast to actually do it skillfully. Or it could just be me being oh, come on. Oh! You fucking piece of shit. You cheesy bell-end motherfucker. Oh! fuck off. Right, anyway. Does remind me that the board music on Money Mountain. So when you're actually on the feature trail itself, as I was there, I am sure I recognised it off an Amiga demo or an Amiga crack screen from sort of the late 80s or very, very early 90s. The board music on this, I am 100% sure it was off an Amiga crack. You know, when the cracking groups would put their own kind of screen on the front of it, on the crack screen, and they'd do a little sort of sound and light show. I think the music for these two I think Ace may just have pinched them off, Amiga demos or Amiga cracks, something like that. Let's see if it'll... Oh, I thought it might just hold... I know I could have had the feature. I just thought it might be willing to hold after nudges for the jackpot, because this thing should be absolutely off its tits. So we can't get £3 there. So we will go for our dinosaurs and we'll do the feature properly. We'll have a full feature. What's it running at, this thing? Let me just bring up the... See there, I've put £330 through it, and it's running at 73%. This thing should be willing to give us some cash here. It really should. It could be a little bit mean. I was kind of half hoping that... Oh! Again! Again! Oh! This is vile. This is absolutely vile. Let's try again. What I'm going to try and do here is get a hold after nudges, because it plays really nice music when you get a hold after nudges. So what can we get? Oh, shall we go for that? Oh, I thought it might give us a hold after nudges for a jackpot. Did do it. It did do it. No. Why are you in such a foul mood? Another great sample there, and you've got to hold them. You've got to hold after nudges on this. You do not let them spin. You hold after nudges and let... Come on, sure there's got to be something going on here. I'm not getting much mileage out of this, am I? Don't you dare... Oh. This is playing abysmally. It really is. Let's see if he's going to let me gamble up. I don't know what's going on here. I really thought it would be... Fuck off. There we are. Come on. That is just... So basically a forced win of £1 there. That's shocking. I cannot explain why this is playing so badly. I've put a fair... I mean, 300 odd quid is not much, really, but on a £6 jackpot machine, I really thought it would be enough. I did then play it manually, just to get it into the realms of the sensible percentage-wise. But I thought I'd left it with a little bit in the tank, but it's actually playing very nasty. Come on, let's get round to bloody... Oh. Go on, let's collect that. Right, let's just see how much I can fuck this up. Right, come on, Degsy, I'm sure you can do this. There we are, so I've got 4 nudges. Oh, come on, you. Oh dear, that you know what, and I did miss that by... Now, what you can do here, though, if you fuck up as spectacularly as that, you can actually just take the feature again. So let's have another go at that. I did sometimes take that one, because that should be like a £5 or £6 feature, assuming you can be slightly less awful at the actual skill stop on the bridge there. Come on, let's get going. This is appalling. This is playing absolutely dreadfully. I cannot explain it. Come on, let's get up. Oh, God, I just can't catch a break on these gambles either. It's going to lose down to £1 now, isn't it? Oh, there we go. Come on, we'll alternate. Oh, come on. Heads. Yes, one more for the jackpot. Come on. There it is. Yes, get in. And we will get a feature restart. It's not a repeat chance on the jackpot, it's a feature restart. Nope. No repeat on the feature. Well, that's a little bit more. Come on, this should have more than this in it. So we can definitely get £2 there. Let's start playing smart here and see if we can actually get a little bit of cash in the bank. Don't you dare bird me. Okay, so Dino is going to be in play. What you'll find, by the way, with this fuck off, is that when it's in a bad mood and when it hasn't had much money through it as well, it does seem to need to have a little bit of cash through it, because what it does is it will ruthlessly and without fail, it will put you into the water there, or it'll let you get to £3 and then the dinosaur will catch you up. That is a really good way of telling when it's absolutely on its arse, when it uses the water or always catches you on £3. It will do that time and time. This is fucking awful. I can't believe what it's doing to me here. Basically, if you're getting past £3, anytime it lets you get past that square, I always found my personal take on that was it wasn't in. Oh, I could have gone for a. Oh no, I didn't even. What was that? What happens when you don't nudge and talk at the same time? That was always my take on it. Is if you were getting past £3, it had some life in it. So let's do. Doesn't really matter. They're kind of interchangeable, really. The wins and the feature symbols. Skill reel. Shall we have a look at that? Ooh, I reckon Degsy can hit that. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh, look, I missed it by 1. But it's giving me a hold after nudge for £4. There we go. Not too bad. I don't know if that cheats you or not as well. If you miss it, I don't know if it, or if you hit it rather, I don't know if it slips. But okay, no, come on. Picked up by bird. Half a chance of gambling to the jackpot here. Come on. There we are. A lot of the jackpots were actually got this way. I mean, depending on the mood I was in, I would sometimes take £4 or £5 and then just try and gamble it up. Because it did let you do it. You can see, I know it's been a little bit of a shit with us, but it did let you do it. Let's just see if we can get up to the bank limit here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. A fucking watch for my hidden treasures on the fucking jackpot. Get the fuck in there. Oh, and I'll be able to carry on here, won't I? Now, I would always collect the £6 but you can go on for the £3 repeater. The problem with the £3... Oh, God. There we are. The problem with the £3 repeater on this is it's a bit mean and it doesn't really like to repeat. That's the problem with it. I always kind of collected the jackpot. If I had the jackpot available to me, I would collect it for precisely that reason. Because you're risking two things. First of all, you can get a 1 and land. Even if the dinosaur is well out of range and he can't catch you, you can get a 1 and lucky dip. And if it really wants to fuck you, it'll do that thing that it did to me earlier, where it'll put you all the way back to £1. And the other thing is the £3 didn't like to repeat. Now this is how you could tell, by the way, when it's dead. When you get the double bars, it will let you get the double bars because it's only £3. But if the dinosaur catches you without fail, and he will do it sometimes, it'll just give the dinosaur 2 moves and he'll catch you. Oh. Okay, fine, he caught me on £4, but if he just catches you relentlessly and ruthlessly on the £3 square, or if you always land in the water when you're coming round, that's when the thing, for me, that was the indication that the thing was on its arse and you wanted to walk away. Not that I was very good at walking away, of course. Let's just... Well, that's a... See, I don't think it cheats you, but is there a pattern that I can follow there? I don't think it even... I don't think it follows a pattern either. I haven't landed on the skill bridge there. The problem with the skill bridge is that even if you fucking hit it, not only does it put you on a lucky dip there, which will sometimes have you, it puts you straight in the firing line of the bloody dinosaur as well. So I tended not to collect that even if I landed on it. Don't get me. There, that's how you can tell. If it gives you a move and lets you get out of there. Oh, fuck. Well, there is the... Thinking about it, what I should have done there is just waited until I saw it hit the water and then press the button, because it would have done anything else apart from the water. So that was suboptimal play there. No, you find it hard to believe that old Degs is doing suboptimal play. It plays a decent game though, this. There's, even when it's in a bad mood, on a sort of normal percentage, I found with these machines that they They always gave you a half-decent game. I mean, that's part of the fact here, of course, that you've only got a very modest £6 jackpot. But they did give you, I always found, a reasonable game. Oh, God. A reasonable game for your money, notwithstanding it doing... Oh, poor guy, he's died a few times, hasn't he? Come on, let's... what I'll try and do, I will try and get this thing out to the bank limit. I never used to hold two of a kinds, but there we are, see. It is featuring fairly cheerfully here. I mean, there's the one thing that I will say against it is the features are a fairly uninspiring bunch. They're not the best. Very well. Come on! The features aren't particularly inspiring, but... Oh, I think Jurassic Money can be okay, and skill nudge on the bridge there, if you're not as dreadfully incompetent as me, can be okay as well. Come on, let's get up. There we are. You can sometimes pull it right back like this. Come on, let's get it. Oh, £3. Well, that's £3 cash. Not too bad. The bank limit on this is 30 quid, so I want to see if I can get it out to the bank limit, and then we'll call it done. And I think there's a Dino up there, isn't there? Yep, there we are. Okay, another feature. Shall we see what Dino... We haven't seen Dino Cash. Oh, yeah, it's this. So, there we are. I'm sure. Hey, £3. There we are. Well done. So you can see, I think that is skill, though, again, there. I was just aiming, because I could see there was £2-3 together, so I was just basically aiming for that little block. I'm not sure it has to put values that good on there. I think it can jib you with shit values. But we did have £3 available to us there. Oh, a few dead spins here. Come on, come on, come on. No, that didn't hold. I was hoping that might hold. I mean, we're going to win a few bob here. I've only put like 12 quid in, and we got 24 quid in the bank. It's been a little... Nah, I can't even get two of a kind there. It's been a touch ruthless, which it could do. Do recall it doing that sometimes. I certainly recall getting like a £5 IOU out of the till in the Groudle, and then just losing the £5 without even getting on the board, and then I'd be back and making write myself another IOU for a £5. Did sometimes happen. But it also had skill cash. It did have a proper streak. It was like a 30-odd quid streak it had on it, where if you caught it right. Go on, let's just see how... Come on, Degs. There we are. There we are. It's not going up very fast, is it? It's hard work, this, isn't it? Bloody hell, this is for £2. £2.40. Whoa. Oh, I did actually miss that. Still, £2.40, not too bad. Oh well, not the best feature in the world. That well, it might be if you're very, very handy at skills, but I always found it an awkward skill stop to do this one. There's something about the way that thing like runs across the glass, because skill caches for me, they're more about being uppy downy things. I was never entirely happy with the skill cache on this thing. Wasn't a big fan of taking it, even at the time. So we're not far off hitting the bank limit here. Let's just see if we can get out to the bank limit. It does seem to have clammed up a little bit, though. Doesn't have to be quite happy to... That could hold. Come on. Yes! Love to do it. Absolutely fucking love to hold. Oh, no! I don't... What you doing, Degs? What is... Oh, my God. I just let him spin. That was rather... God almighty. Well, I have no words there. What you doing, Degs? £5 fucking quid. No, we can't even get... Okay. Well, that was rather annoying, because that's only one gamble then to get the £6. And it doesn't necessarily have to come back straight away either. That may have just been a... There we are, so we've got into the feature. That was very poor. Well, we'll kick the feature off again. We're close to... Shall we have a look at... We haven't had Cash Attack. Oh, I think it just goes up the trail and you... Yeah, and you get icy, yeah, and you just hit this. And then each... So is that going to be like £2.40 or something, I think, is it? Yes, that's £2.40. You see, that's a pretty basic feature, that one. There's no real skill involved, which is probably a good thing for me. No? Okay. Well, we're rocking up to the bank limit now. Come on. Let's just get in there. It's a bit of a... Oh, and my profit's going down here, because it has had... Come on. A little bit of suction here, so I've kind of lost some of my profit. But I am gonna be winning overall, I think. Come on, come on. Ah! That's a harsh few... Come on. Oh, it didn't give me the hold there. I wouldn't have fucked it up that time either. Well, okay. Well, that was a few quid there to get a feature in, so we could do with getting something decent off this. So we are straight into Dino territory. Now remember, I can always take the flight, which will give me 2 quid. So even if you're on a blank square, it's not like, say, roller coaster, whereby if you're on a blank square you can't collect anything. You can always elect to take the flight, but of course we're not going to do that. So he is in front of me now, so he doesn't like come back and catch me, but a 2 or a 4 is dead. So we have, let's take Dino Fruit. I think, yeah, it's one of them. So what do I want here? 7, so 3, 2, 1. So 3. Oh, no, could have done. But, well, 2 quid. Didn't do very well there. That's over the bank limit at least. And it will auto-collect. Anything over 30 quid, it auto-collects. Can we get one more feature out of it, maybe? I'll just do one more feature. Let's see if it holds for that for me. No. Go on, we'll just have another quid, and we'll try and take it out. Just to one more feature. I was rather... I mean, I've not done bad. I've won. And I did make a dreadful error with that hold after nudges for 5 quid, but I was rather hoping it would have a little bit more in it than... Come on. It did do this. Sometimes it would cost you for a board. It would really, really cost you for a board, and it's doing it here. Come on. You know, you've got to remember, when the jackpot's 6 quid, you don't want to be paying sort of £5, £6, £7 for a board. That thing could start to... And put it in context, at the time I was earning, it was less than £4 an hour I was getting paid at the ground. It was £3 something. So, you know, to be putting £6 or £7 into a fruit machine, you're thinking, bloody hell, that's like 2 hours work nearly just to get a fucking board. This is really clammed up, hasn't it? Which is why it was so painful when it got to payday and half my pay was just IOUs. Oh. This has really gone rancid. This has really, really gone rancid, hasn't it? Come on. Well, I'm in rabbit in the headlights mode here. We're going to have to see it out for another board. There is no choice. There we are. Bloody hell, that cost. And there's no guarantee this will give me anything decent either. Let's see how we do. Well, I'm still going to be in profit, but not by much at this point. Come on. There we are. So... You absolute bell piece. Come on. Come on, come on. Gamble up. Oh. Ugh. Come on. Let's have it. Gamble up, gamble up, gamble up. Come on. Can't do it. It can't. Oh, fuck. Last life. Gonna bin me off with a quid here if... Die! Tight bastard. Well, I've won. I have made a profit, but... Not dramatic. Okay, I'll collect that out. Okay. So, there you are. That's that one done. A really, really great machine, this one. Very, very entertaining to play. As I've said before, there's more gameplay. There's more playability. There's more to get involved with in any of these old £6 high-tech AWPs of this kind of generation and this quality. They've got... One single machine has got more than all the £100 jackpot AWPs in the world put together. They're fantastic machines to play. There we go. Nice big bank, but I didn't actually win a huge amount. Let's just have one more quid and see if we can get on board. I think there's got to be a board in it. Come on, surely. Come on. Oh my god. Oh, I can't even get a hold after nudges. Oh, come on. Oh dear. Oh, hold. Oh, may have to walk away here. Nope, it's clammed up, not having it. So there we are. Fantastic machine. Right up to date with the layout, thanks to Pook re-releasing this as part of his massive back catalogue. If I had to pick one out of the two, I would pick Money Mountain, purely on the strength of the sample pack. But as I've said, great shame that we do not have the sound ROMs for it. But do yourself a favour and put a little bit of time into the Jurassic Trail, back from the days when the A in AWP actually meant something and these things had some quality gameplay about them. So there you are. That is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll catch up with you next time. But for now, a goodbye.